Hear me clearly. America is not a racist country.
We need to address, well, first of all, no, I don't think America is a racist country.
Police stated on 1/22/2023 at approximately 12:11 a.m., a fight occurred outside of the West 22 apartment complex where a victim was attacked while exiting his vehicle. The victim told responding officers a racial slur was directed towards him during the incident. The suspects left the complex before the responding officers arrived. The victim was treated for his injuries at the local hospital. The case detectives have been in contact with the victim since Tuesday. Our detectives are working directly and following all available leads. We are seeking the public's assistance in identifying those who left the complex. Detectives are seeking to speak with the occupants of a Jeep Wrangler that was present during the incident. Our department takes each criminal investigation seriously. Based on the current video evidence and statement, this could ultimately be racially motivated, but all aspects of the case will be investigated and the proper charges will be applied.
As the attack happened at this off-campus apartment complex over the weekend.
I want people to understand that this is a traumatic for me.
He says he had just parked and was walking toward his apartment when two men blindsided him and beat him up.
Just pounce on him. They just start hitting him and just abusing him. They did kick him in his nose, and his nose was fractured, which was, when I saw him, his nose was bleeding.
During all the chaos, Roseman's roommate was arrested for obstruction and disorderly conduct. They even yanked out his dreadlocks, all while screaming racial slurs at him. He doesn't know the two men who are white and believes they targeted him because he is black.
Just want justice. We just want justice. If the people called get arrested and the people who committed the crime got away, justice wasn't served.
Police charged two men in the alleged attack at Kennesaw State University student outside his car at an apartment complex. Gage Dakota Stanley, 20, and Cole Zuber-Reasoner, 20, are both charged with felony aggravated battery and misdemeanor battery for allegedly attacking Jalik Roseman at the West 22 apartment complex in Kennesaw. Kennesaw police told Fox 5 Atlanta in a statement, based on the statements of the victim, this ultimately could be racially motivated. A peace officer cannot charge for a hate crime. It is a sentencing enhancement brought on during the prosecution of the case. Georgia's hate crime statute allows for additional penalties to be imposed for crimes motivated by a victim's race, religion, sexual orientation, or other factors. Kennesaw police said the attack happened at around midnight on Sunday at the West 22 apartment complex on Cherokee Street. It's about 2 miles north of the Kennesaw State University campus. At the scene, police talked to an injured man. He told police he was getting out of his car when two white men beat him to the ground and kicked him in the face while calling him the N-word. I want people to understand this was very traumatic for me, said Roseman. Roseman said he didn't know the people who attacked him. Ain't that something? We are, let me look at the date, just starting Black History Month, just starting February, and this is the first thing that's up there. You have these two Caucasian men deciding that they just wanted to go after a black man. For what? For what reason? He wasn't talking to anybody that you knew. He wasn't walking some, young, free, 21 Caucasian woman directly to her door. None of that was happening. He was there by himself. He was walking, minding his own business, as everybody has the right to do. And they proceeded at night to do this. Look at that. Now, why wouldn't they want to do something like this during the day? Oh, that's right, because it would be a lot easier for people to identify them. It would be a lot easier for police to identify them. It would be a lot easier for other people to actually see exactly what is taking place. Now, some people are going to sit up there and say, like, well, how do we know that this is actually a racially motivated attack? I'll hold my opinion up until I hear from both sides. Well, if you go look at the pictures that are online, you can clearly see who was injured. You can clearly see that the numbers are stacked against this man. You can clearly see who is hurt and who is not. I don't see any of their hair pulled out, them missing clumps. I don't see any of them with a broken nose. Better yet, I don't see a scratch on them except for acne on one of them. So again, you're going to have a lot of people that are going to decide that they want to try to swap and switch the narrative, and they'll be like, "Oh well, as bad as that happened, not okay in it, but I still don't know the full story. But hey, how about this story right here? This black dude set up and did the who and who, what and what, and who and who, what, and that's what they're going to do. Whenever we have proof and we have incidents like this, and we got the evidence to back up everything that we're saying, this is when they overlook these stories, and then they want to go to something completely different that they have a leg to stand on. And the other main thing that I'm trying to also inform black people about is this is something that is always going to happen. You're going to have black people out here that will be minding their business, that won't be bothering nobody, and they'll have to deal with individuals who just don't like them off of the simple fact of the color of the skin, not to mention the fact that they also were yelling a whole bunch of things to them. One of them calling him boy. Now, some people be like, "Well, how was that even racist? The context, it's like I don't see the correlation." Those are the dumb ones directly out there, and they're expecting you not to know how it is that their people spoke to black people back during those times, and even of also recent times, right? Because you would have some of them who would still be around, let's say the 80s and the 90s, that would still try to call somebody black boy. Like I said, that's and then on top of that, not to even mention the tone, not to even mention. Because if you wanted to go with a fact of race, all right, fine. All right, I got you. I'll meet you there, right? If any man were to refer to another man as boy and use a type of tone as to say, I am higher than you and you are below me, you are basically my son, that's him being disrespectful. That's going to the effect of, hey, you're trying to really start something right now. You might want to watch your tone, you might want to watch your language. Some people will be like, oh, well, those are just words. Well, words can get you hurt. Words might not hurt, but words can get you hurt. So now let's layer on the history, right? Let's layer on the fact that a lot of Caucasians felt during that time, or still feel during this time, that they were superior, that black people are directly below them, that they are the rulers and everybody else is meant to serve. And then look at all of the terminologies that they used to use, and in certain instances still used to this day. Boy, a variety of slurs and different things of that nature, some of which I can't mention here because YouTube likes to be sensitive about certain things, even though it's Black History Month. But I pretty much know that YouTube is still going to be sensitive about this video. And like I said, all you really have to do is go do a little bit of reading, go watch a little documentary about race relations in America. Go listen to a lot of the old folks from that time period and hear how it is that they talk about black people and how it is that they describe them. And you will see and understand it and get um, the meaning behind everything. But again, those people aren't really trying to look for, proof or facts. They're just trying to say things in order to move the conversation somewhere else, or in order to derail the conversation, in order to shift and move the focus and the spotlight off of what specifically occurred. And the main thing that I've always told people is this: when it deals with race and ethnicity, that is woven into the fabric of the United States. That's how the United States is what it is at this moment in time, and it'll always be this exact same way. You're not going to be able to get rid of the history and the DNA of what made a country what it is, because you'll have two different stories. You'll have the story from the champions, and then you'll have the story from the people that observed the history and that observed the champions. And the greatest lie ever told was just, hey, we came to this land, we found this land. Nobody was pretty much here, nobody lived here. And we pretty much modernized North America, not just North America, but the world as a whole. That's the greatest lie ever told. Because when you look at the contributions and the inventions that Black people have made, and how a lot of those things have contributed to how everybody's able to live a lot better and more comfortably all over the world, it's crazy. And especially when it comes to Black Americans and a lot of the inventions that they've created. And then to still understand and find out and see that no matter what our contributions are, you have a lot of people that don't care, and they will still see us a certain type of way and still treat us a certain type of way. And this is when I try to make people understand. It's like, yo, y'all want to act this type of way. If there was ever a way to just, just get some Dragon Balls and just be like, hey, I want to show the world like what it would look like if Black people never existed. Ooh, it would be a vastly different planet. Be a vastly different planet. But like I said, people don't understand it up until, those type of things actually hit home. They won't understand it. And they won't actually appreciate it up until things start disappearing. Like I said before, I brought to y'all a video about a slave, right? An African slave. Better yet, a doctor who ended up enabling a lot of Europeans that were in Boston to survive and for their bloodlines to survive, because he pretty much gave them the answer on how to deal with smallpox. But originally, when his owner gave out the information and told how it was that the information was created, people didn't want to sit up there and listen to the owner, let alone even listen to the slave. It wasn't up until somebody else that was Caucasian, that was completely separate of that situation, used that process and started saving the lives of other Europeans in Boston, that then they enacted that plan. That's how deep a lot of this racism is. Even if Black people have the cure to basically combat and to fight, people like, nah, I'm not trusting that from you. I'm not taking that from you. You don't even know what you're talking about, boy. Right? Like I said, it is what it is. But one day y'all gonna end up learning. Y'all gonna end up seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. And it's gonna be the light that you don't want to run to. Cause you're gonna be looking like, how did I get here? I thought everybody that I prayed to was correct. I thought the way I was living my life was correct. Nah, buddy. Obviously not.